MiniWarGaming Dave here from MiniWarGaming.com, and I'm the Hobby Hunter. And these are my top 10 picks for my favorite greenskins. At number 10, we have this amazing greenskin by Sergio Calvo. Sculpted by Allan Carrasco, this was an entry to Golden Demon 2023. According to Sergio, he really pushed himself for this project. Apparently, something he loves doing from time to time in his works of art. Which kind of makes sense if you really look at this. I mean, just look at the color blends. It is insane. I particularly like how the mouth is discolored, probably due to all those years of chomping on that cigar. It also lends itself nicely as a good focal point for the miniature. Undoubtedly, this is something Sergio loves to do, and he's a master at it. Upsizing our way to number 9, we have Scratchbashing and his mega-sized Gargant. I've had the pleasure of holding this in my own hand. I kid you not, it is massive. Like, look how big it is compared to this Warlord Titan. It's insane. And what's even more crazy is Scratchbashing bashed it together from scratch. It's a bit of a play on words there, but it's true. He made it from nothing. Or at least that's what he told me when he visited in person and described the whole process.
I have a really simple painting style, so I go with what works and what's going to be most effective, especially coming through on camera, because except for you, not a lot of people get to see this in real life.
It's projects like these that just blow my mind. How many hours does something like this take? A copious amount. But the best part about this is his challenge. He says he wanted to make the biggest orc in the world, and he challenges anyone to do the same and make a bigger orc than what he has made. Challenge has been submitted. Let's see if there's any takers. For the number 8 pot. For my next pick, because it's number 8 and Corn's number, I wanted to see something red and something big. And who better than Blackbeards Studios and this Beastnaga Hunter rig made from a glotkin? And in this case, Corn demands DACA. First and foremost, fantastic idea to use the glotkin. Not only does it provide good size, but good beefy foundation to put whatever orky bits you want on top of that. When you look closely, it's a bunch of little tiny scratches, which kind of works from a distance and makes it look graphic novel-y and comic booky, but in a good way. Those orcs are certainly having a great time on his platform. What song do you think they're singing? Because this one dude's definitely playing the guitar. Here we go to number 7, a Big Boss by Hardcore Miniatures painted by Orc Butt. First off, super cool to discover new accounts. Orc Butt, hello, nice to meet you. It's good to see you have greenskins on your account. And another thing, where have you been all my hobby life? The paint job looks so good, it looks like an illustration. Apparently there was a 6-week period where he worked on this miniature and he kept it secret from everyone. Not sure why, but it was the biggest orc he's ever painted. Do you use a magnifying glass when you paint? Because even the pattern on this tusk is super crisp. Some of the comments we read, just awesome. The war boss we wanted, but not deserved. Damn, he's a big boy. What an absolute beast of a gem. I mean, yeah, these are warranted comments for something like this. Awesome miniature, awesome paint job. This is exactly what we want to see on greenskins. Feeling a little nostalgic at number 6, we have David Colwell and his Evil Son's Orc Commando Boss Knob. According to David, he says, I'm in a very heavy phase of nostalgia, and I absolutely love all the old Hammer artwork, so I've tried to capture that kind of old, bright-colored look with this guy using bright reds and yellows, while also trying to capture some modern technique sensibilities with regards to texture and what is my idea of relatively a messy paint job. It is for me, at least. What do you think? Does this seem messy and dirty to you? For me, Dave, at first glance, it doesn't look messy. I gotta be honest. That's just from my perspective. Clearly, there's a whole lot of mess that this knob needs to clean up right now. Perhaps it's a squirrel syndrome in me, but I'm looking at this massive hand on the base and I'm thinking, what is that from? I like how you have all the green clumped together in the middle of the miniature to focus your eye. And I enjoy seeing these little spots on his skin, such as his chin, his shoulder, his forearm, and his belly. My opinion, just gives it that much more personality. Moving as fast as lightning over to Thunderbrush, we have his comic book style Orks. He does everything from freshly looted barricades to Evil Son's boys with beanies. His style is unmistakably unique to him. And the first time I saw his artwork, I kid you not, I thought it was a filter. And then my mind tricked myself and like, wait, it probably is a filter. And then it kicked in again and said, no, that's not a filter. That's a really good paint job. But out of all the paint jobs on his account, this Rocket Boy stands out to me because of the yellow mask. For some reason, when you add that splash of yellow, it just pops so much. It's almost like a visual cheat. Add some hazard stripes on the hosing, and I think this Orc Boy is telling his own stories in his own comic book. I don't even know what that means. It doesn't have to mean anything. It just looks like really pretty painted plastic. I'm getting totally distracted. Moving on.
Keep on rolling, baby.
Glowing at number 4, we have Orc Butt. And this vibrantly glowing shroom base that's kicking up the stellar color on this otherwise monochromatic orc. Like, the more I look at this thing, the more I realize how cool this really is. First off, I'm super biased. I love Orc Butt. Like, just take a look at some of the stuff on his account. It's insane. He painted up a Ravaged Star miniature, General Tarkon of the Amari, using a very similar effect that he used on this orc. Plus he illustrated Armored Bash, which is a game I made with my kids. The first question I had for this is, what paints did you use? How did you achieve this look? And to that, Orc Butt says, the awesome folks behind Colorful Kraken Studio invited me to bring an OSL look to the tabletop in under an hour without an airbrush. Challenge accepted, and here we go! These were the test models, and both came in under an hour each. 40 to 45 minutes. I did a bit more edge highlighting on the second to see how much more time it added. 15 minutes, not too bad. I primarily use dry brushing, and artist Opus has been super supportive, sending me a fresh set of Series D dry brushing and my favorite detail brush series S00. So what you're saying is, Colorful Kraken Studio and artist Opus brushes, particularly the Series D and the S00, fantastic information. Thank you very much, Orc Butt. On to the next. At number 3, we have Giocani's Gazar Thraa. But it isn't just any Gazar. It's a nostalgic one. He says, for the banner, I took inspiration from the one shown in the book, Here We Go, rather than the Codex one. Hope you like the final result. There seems to be a common thread here with this old Gazar Thraa. This is a favorite sculpt shared by many. Do you know a guy who likes this old style figurine?
Hi, guy.
Hey, buddy.
What's your favorite Warhammer model?
I'm going to go for Chops and Changes, a second edition Gazgar. The 1993 sculpt? Is it 2 sculpt? So good. It is so good.
For any fan of Old Hammer, you'll be impressed by the 81 faces he has painted. It took him a number of years to do it, and he is sure that not a single one of them is accidentally repeated in this big collage. He gives proper credit to the sculptor Kevin Adams, Goblin Central 60 if you want to check out his Instagram account, as well as crediting some other Mad Boys and 3 other sculpts by Bob Oley and Allan Perry. And in his words, he says, this is a little reminder about the high amount of personality and details infused in each of these old glories, far, far away from the modern orc sculpts. He's Old Hammer, okay? You get these Old Hammer dudes and look what they do. They paint Gazar Thraa like this. You gonna argue with that? You gonna try? You're gonna get a green tide. I kid you not. I've seen it before, and we like to swim in the sea of plastic, but not if it's a green tide, because it goes on forever, and there's spores everywhere, and it never leaves you. But it is glorious, let's face it. Moving our way to number 2, we have Spence Painting and his Orc Wob or something. First off, having met Spencer in real life, I could hear him saying that. His voice was literally saying that to me in my head. And then I started to notice something about the actual miniature itself. See how the rock on the bottom and the 2 bones up top and the eyes in the middle are glowing, creating this like balance thing that's making you look into his soul? Spence, was that done on purpose? Because if it was, it worked. Totally worked. And then I started to scroll your account, Spencer, and see other stuff. And that's when I saw Black Hawk himself. And I took note of the color scheme you use on the flesh tone, which stood out amongst the sea of green, because let's face it, that's what we're looking at right now. I think it's super cool. I think it works. It's great. Please keep on doing what you're doing. Before we go to the top pick, here are some honorable mentions. Got this old looking green skin by Colty in his wonderfully worn yellow armor. Look at this guy. How many hours has he put in? How much overtime has he done? How many teeth has he spent over his lifetime? It's probably a lot. Next up, we have an orange skin, green skin by NRM Paint. It was obviously the orange skin that stuck out to me. Kind of messed with my brain a little bit, but that's why I liked it. It was a surprise. and the model wasn't even finished. That's how good it was. And finally, we got tiny monsters. Just look at this cute little guy. I've never seen such a cool looking grot. I love how the coin is there for size reference. And the fact that he's popping a wheelie on his wheelchair with an evil grin on his face makes it that much better. Look at all the tiny monsters. Look at all of the stuff on this account. It's nuts. You'll love it. It's great. And in our #1 spot for my favorite pick for greenskins today is the War Mistress. Spending a good amount of time on her account and seeing the amount of bruisers she is painted by Gear Guts is astounding. I love the blue armor. I love how it looks. The green pops on the screen and in person because I've seen these miniatures in real life. I've seen her army in real life, and it looks just as amazing in person as it does on the screen. Not only does she paint greenskins, but she also paints up these Dogosaurs. If Squigs had a cousin from the other side of the universe, or maybe a different universe, they would be these guys. A little bit of a visual cheat by painting them yellow, but that's fine because we know we like yellow. Another favorite aspect of these minis is the fact that each sculpt is big. These bruisers were meant to win battles, as is evidenced by their sheer size and how much they impose their space onto others. Like, look at this dude. He's basically ragdolling him. Like, come on. Super fun. If you folks have seen the mega battle that I had with Kyle from Gear Guts Mech Shop in our Apocalypse game, then you'll know these miniatures and what I'm talking about. Am I biased? Of course I am. These are my picks. Of course I'm gonna choose what makes me happiest. All of the stuff that we're looking at, we're gonna have our own opinions about. And in my opinion, these are some of the best greenskin models I've ever seen. When it comes to greenskins and orcs and all this stuff that we see going on here, there's a common thread. And that commonality is many people like them, and many people like to design their own versions of orcs and greenskins, you name it. If there's an orc warrior that looks something like this, you're gonna see more of it. Which is why if you have an inkling towards getting these alternative miniatures or just plastic in general, My Mini Factory is kind of the ultimate cosmic playground for that. Not only do they have thousands of creators that upload their own designs to the platform, but they also have tribes where you can support individual creators as they create these things on a monthly basis. In addition to this, they have Frontiers, which are mini campaigns held specifically on My Mini Factory, where they make available batches of designs. So they're kind of like Kickstarters, only they're specific to My Mini Factory. And they're digital, so it's like immediate fulfillment with all of these sculpts. If you have a 3D printer, great. If you don't, then I might know somebody who could suggest a good one. Painting minis is more than just painting minis, and you can scale them up. Especially if you got a 3D printer, you can make them whatever size you want. Obviously, some are meant to be a certain scale, so if you scale them up, then it's going to be weird and the resolution won't be the same. But you have some leeway there. You can do some fun things with all of this plastic. There's a number of different artists and companies that I've mentioned in this video. Who should I focus on next? Leave it in the comments below. And please do comment on the specific works of art that you see by the various artists featured in this video. I'll be sending this video out to each of them individually so that they are aware that this video exists. That's one of the best feelings ever, especially when it's recognized by the community and it adds to the overall enjoyment of the hobby. I'm MiniWarGamer Dave, and I'm the Hobby Hunter.